people have showed up in a big way. We're going to have to do so over the next couple of months as it gets colder. However, we're talking about, we've had no rain. My lawn, we don't necessarily water it, but it's starting to get a little brown. And I think a lot of folks are feeling the same way.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing as we get closer and closer to really the peak of fall and even closer to winter. We oftentimes are used to not having a lot of rain, Colin and Vanessa, but when you get toward a dry streak that's almost 3 weeks, it does start to be something that you're monitoring even closer, not just because it's a good thing for many who are still picking up from Hurricane Helene, but as we get deeper into the dry season, we need at least some of those days with some rain to kind of keep things consistent, because eventually problems with fire danger and even drought conditions can slowly start to creep in. And this is actually the longest dry streak we've seen so far in 2024, and we do expect this to continue. There is one night, that is Saturday night into Sunday, that there is a small minuscule chance of a stray shower as a cold front is moving through, but even that as of right now looks relatively dry. So as we get deeper and deeper into the season, this is something we'll be monitoring very closely. Now, with the clear skies and the dry air, this also means colder temperatures, especially in the mountains. As we know, it's been in the 30s a lot over the last week. Thankfully tonight we're only in the upper 30s, lower 40s. So again, still chilly, but not quite as cold as we have been. I mean, there were multiple days last week where we saw temperatures at or below the freezing mark for the foothills all the way down toward the Charlotte Metro and the southern Piedmont and Sandhills. Everybody is looking at the mid 40s. So probably still needing the jackets, maybe even the sweatshirts in the morning, but eventually in the afternoon, you'll be able to shed those layers very quickly as temperatures will soar to the upper 70s to near 80. Very similar to what we had today. High pressure still remains in control too across most of the deep south and really most of the east coast. And this is also providing not just dry conditions, not just eventually warmer temperatures this week, but also a deflection of any kind of tropical systems. We've talked a lot about this and a lot about steering currents over the last few days. Well, when there's really strong high pressure, nothing can really push inland. And that's why both Nadine and Oscar stayed well away from the country, which is of course good news as we're still picking up after Helene. Bus stop forecast for tomorrow morning. We're talking calm conditions, but still on the chillier side in the mid 40s. In the afternoon, though, recess, probably just hanging out after school. The kids certainly won't need those jackets as we get close to 80 degrees once again. Here's that small chance of rain that does come in as we enter into Saturday night and into Sunday. You'll notice very minimal green picking up here, and this is really rainfall that's falling from the sky. What happens a lot of times, especially this time of year with cold fronts, is it starts to push through, the rain starts to fall from the clouds, but then it enters a layer of dry air closer to the surface and melts before that happens. So as of right now, I'm keeping us at a 0% chance of rain for that Saturday night and Sunday forecast. That is subject to change, maybe to about 20%, but as of now, we're still dry. Probably pretty easy to see when the cold front comes in. Saturday, a high of 81, Sunday, a high of 67, but it will not be as cold as we have been over the last few days. Again, multiple days last week near freezing in the mountains, 30s for the Charlotte area. This will be a cool down, but not quite that cold. And in fact, we're back near 80 degrees by Halloween.